welcome from my side, from our team, my co-founder Jörg and myself. We are super excited to welcome all of you here at our conference, the EA Connect Days. Thanks again, Peter, for setting this amazing stage with this keynote. I've seen him before. I liked it a lot this morning, and I think it's exactly the tone and setting we would have for our event here again. So that's awesome. All right, so once again, welcome from our side. I'm pretty sure you all know you're sitting in a very special place here in the Parliament. Just to remind ourselves, it was the plenary chamber from 1992 to 1999. The administrations of Kohl and Schröder have worked in this place here, and also a very historic resolution was made going to Berlin. It was actually made in 1990. Before the whole administration went over to Berlin. Actually, as being born in Bonn, I'm pretty happy about all the leftovers here in Bonn. So we have an amazing infrastructure. We have amazing museums, buildings. It's such a great city. So for us, it's not only a negative decision, it's also great for us that we have all those good things here in Bonn. So we thought it's a great place, not only where history was made, but it's also a big milestone for us in the history of our company. So what I can tell today, it's not only the EA Connect Day, again a big change, it's the EA Connect Days. So for the first time, we're doing it in 2 days. So if you would like to share something, there's the hashtag again written underneath. I'm sure it's a great, fantastic 2 days. So first of all, let me give you a little bit of an overview of what I'd like to talk about. So I briefly like to touch on what we're going to do during the 2 days here, and then give you a small company update, one of my favorite topics, product launch, and then also give some outlook where we're heading in the next year. So let's start with an overview of the EA Connect Day. It's actually our 5th time we're doing this event, and when we started it in 2014 in Basel, we were extremely proud doing that with 15 people, hosted at Helvetia. It was an amazing small event, a lot of networking exchange, and we couldn't dream of how this event would evolve over time. So we are extremely excited, having more than doubled the number of people registering for this event, that shows there's a lot of interest for the topic of enterprise architecture, a lot of sharing in this community. So to give some more highlights, I named it before, so it was like a stunning keynote by Peter. We now have 4 parallel streams in the event. You see it after my talk, where you need to decide between the different tracks. We have 10 customer use cases during the 2 days, 8 partner sessions, and for the first time, we do hands-on sessions. So that was one of the feedbacks of the recent years, where we are going to take certain aspects of the product or use cases and explain them in more detail. So I'm pretty sure you will find good spots in the agenda where you can go to. There's also something very new this year. We're going to have more than 40 LeanIX. Thank you for reminding me. So it's even hard for me. 40 LeanIX employee on site. And so there's the big question now. So they haven't dressed up. They're not wearing any blue shirts or white shirts. So how are you going to spot them? I can tell you it's pretty easy. So you need to move your head down, and then you will easily identify them. So for us, it's also a small thank you again to Adidas for hosting the EA Connect Day of 2017. It goes without saying, I have our friends from Zalando in the first line. The year before that, we did the event at Zalando. So for us, it's a change, not doing it anymore at the customer side, but so this year, hosting it here in Bonn, close to our own office. For us, such an event would not be possible without great partners. So This year, also the first time, we have premium sponsors at the event, and I would like you to join me in giving a round of applause for such great partners supporting this event. So it's actually not only these premium sponsors, we also have exhibitors at the location. You see them outside in the area. And to be honest, for us as a small vendor, I can only say from our own and having spent a lot of time at the booth at conferences, if you can take some time, take a coffee, go to the booth, connect with the people, it makes a lot of difference for the people waiting at the booth, putting a lot of effort in preparing it. So if you can do me a favor, take some time in the breaks and connect to those people. It would really make a difference for them. So, for me, a very important part is giving an update on how the company actually evolved over the last 12 months. For some of you, you have been part of the journey with us for more than that. But also for the new people, I would like to give some insight how the company actually evolved. Most of you might know the company was founded in 2012. Jörg and I founded the company, and I pulled out this picture here. So sometimes we actually say it's our wedding picture. Yeah? So founding a company is actually sometimes a little bit like a marriage. Yeah? So it's we stayed alone actually for 3 years. Yeah? So we decided to bootstrap the company, put our own money into it. And I can say today we're super proud not being alone anymore. Yeah? So we're pretty much gifted to have such a talented and motivated team behind of us. And I can tell this year we are now 85 people, again doubling the team size since last year's EA Connect Day. Now with 70 people here in our Bonn office, not far away from this location. It's actually just 5 to 10 minutes away. And then also our team in Boston, which is now addressing the US market, not only in sales, but also in support and customer success, with 15 people on site. So that's an amazing development, and I think Jörg and I wouldn't have dreamed of what we've started some years back. So for us, a good moment to recap what are actually our core beliefs. So what is important for us in the product and in the service we're delivering. So the most important thing we actually believe in the topic of enterprise architecture is collaboration. When we started the product, we were in a time when IT and architecture and decisions in the CIO departments were really in a change. So before that, it was very central. There was a gate everyone needed to go through. But during the time when we launched the company, people were buying Salesforce and other products even outside of IT. So having a solution which allows to get people into such a platform, making it easier for them, was a very important fact for us. So that's why we always were looking for how can we ensure that people can collaborate in our solution. So the second point for us was we didn't want to leave you completely alone by using our product, but we came up with a data model which was like out of the box, proposing how we call it fact sheets. So that means what you store in the product. In our world, it's applications, it's projects, it's business capabilities. So we delivered this out-of-the-box model and also analysis and reports you could use for your daily work. We're now focusing more and more on use cases, so trying to understand what you're doing with the product, like application rationalization, moving things into the cloud, or getting rid of the shit of yesterday. Yeah? So in our world, we call it a little bit more polite, technical risk management. Yeah? So I think it's easier to sell than shit of yesterday. But essentially, it's the same. Yeah? So understanding what's out there in your world, and then seeing what has the biggest risk, which technologies need to be removed or replaced in the next year, and of course, having more informed decision on this. Always, if you have a software as a service product, it's essential that training is not mandatory or a hurdle to use the product. So a lot of what we do is thinking about user experience, and we even strengthen this discipline, which I would show you in a couple of seconds. And then last but not least, there are 2 points which are actually very important to us. It's avoiding data silos. So what we've started, especially this year, with an out-of-the-box integration with IT service management, a discipline very close to enterprise architecture. We launched an out-of-the-box integration, and we are the first vendor to be certified by ServiceNow to have that integration, essentially to avoid that data silos start to exist between the different departments. Not needing to maintain different lists of applications in your IT service management tool and in your enterprise architecture tool. The same is true for an integration we created earlier in our company history is with Signavio. It's a business process monitoring solution. The guys from Signavio are also here. We're using that to make the connection between IT and business much easier. Last but not least, we started to add capabilities of detecting information directly from code. So we've added an integration which can read important information from source code and then automatically upload this into our tool, and then benefit from the visualizations you see on the screen and also make them use in the native iPhone app. So that's really summing up what are our core beliefs when we build the product and the service. And so the key question always was, when we started the company, what does the market say to this? And I'm extremely excited that just like 2 weeks ago, we've been rewarded by Deloitte as the 10th fastest growing tech company in Germany, with an exciting growth over the last 4 years. So that is a tremendous achievement for everyone working at us in the company. But first and foremost, for me, it's important to say thank you to our customers, to our partners, and all our employees. And if you would join me again in having a big round of applause, it's really great to have you all here. And Peter said it before, so when we started the company, it was very like a small company, not very much known. We've always had this trouble of you're not listed in the analysts' reports, so how can we trust this people? So they even came from a logistics company. How can we give them really the data? So what are they going to do with the data? So they're all putting it into the cloud. So for us, it's a tremendous trust we've been receiving over the years, and we still receive when we go and improve the product. In the last year, we actually launched a complete new version of the product, and a very, very large company in Germany trusted us and decided to be the first partner of it. It was like a rough start, but it has shown us it's a lot of trust we gained, so we had to work for, but eventually it actually paid out, and I'm very happy that this trust is there in our customer base. This is for us a good point to think about, that growth is not everything. So growing very fast is of course a good thing and allows us to invest into the product, into innovation, into a better service. But it's also important for us to understand how well is the product really received and liked by our users. So there's a standard methodology to understand this actually, and so it's by asking the question, how likely is it that you would recommend LeanIX to a colleague or a friend? A very simple question. It works at an airport. You've seen it. If you leave the airport, you can say, how did you like the service? Would you recommend it? It works for McDonald's. It works for a lot of things. So how is it going? So what's happening is you answer on it on a scale from 0 to 10, and what you count in the 9 and the 10, you call the promoters. These are the people who say and really tell other people about it. Then you have the people who are more passive. They like it, but they don't talk about it. And then you have people who are not really happy with the service. And I'm super happy to see the first results coming in of the first survey we did this year. So we have like 64% promoters for LeanIX. It's 32 passives and only 3% detractors. And out of that, what you can do, you can calculate a score. It's pretty easy. It's taking the percentage of the promoters, subtracting the detractors, and then you end up with the NPS score. So now you ask yourself, so 61, is it good, bad? Yeah, so how are we actually located? So that is important for us as well. So if we look on the overview, how do we really rank in the whole line? So you see, we didn't want to name any names, yeah? So that's why we only gave an indication what are like industry averages. So the essential is for us, we're in a good shape, yeah? So but there's room for improvement. Yeah? So there's Apple, there's Tesla, and we saw the video before. To be honest, I'm not driving a Tesla. I can tell from my own how good you like it. And we only found this a couple of years back, the NPS value. But I think it's a good indication for us as a first start to understand where we stand. And it clearly expresses our ambition to move forward with our product and service, really from a good product to a great product. There are a couple of things we're doing for that, and this is what I would like to introduce today. We've established product management as a function in the company. So we didn't have product management before, and I'm extremely happy that Jan decided to join our company as a VP product, taking all care of our roadmap, of all the customer requirements. And some of you have already agreed to do a one-on-one with him. We have more than 20 one-on-ones during the 2 days here. The agenda or his time schedule is fully packed with those one-on-ones, but we will increase the number of conversations around the product with Jan and his team. The second piece is user experience. Up until this year, we didn't have any dedicated person for user experience, actually. We've done it on our own, and we now experience that while we're growing, we need to have a much better guidance on it. So what we start today is what we call a user experience lab, or UX lab. And Benjamin and Markus, who's also working our UX team, what they do is they try to understand how good the UX is really in our product. So we have one example which we already have a good indication that people are actually struggling with. It's searching in the inventory. We would like to understand better how you search in the inventory, what you do there, and Benjamin and Markus have prepared a structured analysis for that. And I would be really happy if you use the opportunity, go to the product and UX booth. It's just right outside the room here. They have many free slots still available. That helps us a lot to work this into our product. Last but not least, there's another point we're adding to our offering, which is called the LeanIX Online Academy. So it's a way for every user actually to access content in a training system, to see materials, videos, and then also do exams on it. We have not launched it. We will give beta access to customers who are interested in it. It's pretty easy for everyone. So what you can do is you can click in the menu, go to the self-learning system, and then automatically using single sign-on, you then go over in our self-learning system. So please approach Christian, our VP Customer Success, if you like to be one of the first ones to try it out, give us feedback and allowing us to improve this. Next is a topic which is, from a strategy perspective for us, really, really essential. It's our partner ecosystem. You've seen that before. We've added partners for the first time to the conference. We're really happy about it. But I'm also extremely excited to say we have now 23 certified LeanIX partners. And just in the last 6 months, we added almost 10 more certified partners. And you see them all here on the map. we've added a partner program, a certification, trainings, materials, and also start to work on joint deals together. And what I would like you to do, if you are a partner, please approach Alex, also being represented outside with a booth, to talk about possibilities to partner with us. Of course, as a customer, and if you're seeking in a program or project you're setting up advice, you could also make use of understanding who we are working together with and who might be interesting to help you out in your activities. There's another thing we've done this year for the second time, actually. We've added more research. So what we've done is 2 studies. So one study we did jointly with one of our partners, PwC, and I'm very happy that they agreed with us as an expert in that field to have a study on the state of SAP S/4HANA transformation, seen especially from a standpoint of enterprise architecture. So that is a very interesting insight on the speed of adoption, how fast those companies are actually doing that. And this is like a quick heads up. There's a special session tomorrow morning where we share results of that study at 10:50 in the track 1 of the agenda. The other story we did is we really wanted to understand how enterprise architecture is actually evolving. So we asked more than 1,800 enterprises in the US, in Europe, and in APAC. And that was very, very interesting to see what are the priorities and what are also the differences in the regions. So here, again, we haven't announced or released the study yet, but we have created some previews on that, on cloud transformation, and on the highest priorities of enterprise architects. You can get those at the booth outside if you're interested, even before we release the entire study. So now we're coming to the part which I'm extremely excited about. It's actually always my personal highlight, launching new product features and giving back or showing what we've developed over time, seeing our development and engineering teams putting so much work into it. So the very first product launch we're doing is on a topic which we had in mind for a long time, but I think before we run it, it's for me interesting to see, and probably for you as well, what are actually our customers saying, why would they need such a new feature? So I'd like to run a short video for you.
One of the biggest challenges in managing an architecture repository is to keep data quality at an excellent level. Our application contacts are maintaining their application data directly in LeanIX fact sheets or via surveys, and the EAM team is doing everything we can to make data maintenance as easy as possible for our users. During the last years, we have seen good adoption in our user base, but if we expect people to maintain their own data regularly, data maintenance has to feel natural and should be intuitive to the end users, and it shouldn't feel as an extra effort that they're doing on top of their daily work. For an enterprise architect, maintaining and growing the architecture repository is part of the daily business. We are running quite a large volume of data manipulation and a high volume of data import at a time on a regular basis. But honestly, we have a couple of end users that have to maintain almost 100 applications at a time. So why do they need to export everything to Excel and import it again? Why can't they work directly in LeanIX?
So, Thomas, thank you for putting this into your words and for sharing your challenges. And I'm extremely excited that today we're launching a new feature which we call Table Inline Editing. And to give you some more insight on that, I would like to run a video on all the features. This is what we call inline table editing, and probably our sales guys are actually hating me for that, but what I can tell you is it's included in all editions of LeanIX, so it's no additional price, and it's actually available as of today. So as of this speech, we're making it available to all workspaces, and we are not stopping working on it. So we're continuing to build in subscription editing. So what you've seen is we can do tags, we can do life cycles, we can do selects, we can do numbers. We're going to add subscriptions soon, and then we also will add relationships together with an extended or an improved import and export soon. There's another feature which we also add to this to make it really round is what we call a mass archiving, so you don't need to go into Excel, click on or mark those lines as delete and upload it again, but you can directly from the inventory then delete mass fact sheets. So it's available. It's an explicit change in the UI, so you can click on edit the table, and I'm more than happy if you go to one of our booths or the demo stations later on and have a look at it in more detail. So there's number 2 in the product launches. Again, I'm excited that one of our customers has agreed to share their insights. What is their challenge they deal with in their daily architecture world?
We at ID South follow the motto, retail is change. This also holds true for our architecture team, where we always search for new or different ways to improve users' experience. For instance, we recently had challenges in analyzing the usage of data across different applications. On realizing that all required data was already available in LeanIX, and we were only missing a better fitting report, we created it. The open APIs and existing frameworks of LeanIX helped us create this quickly ourselves. Seeing how fast this LeanIX community has grown, we are wondering how great it would be if we could easily share this report. But how can we do this? How can we all share our developments to enable everyone in the community to benefit from them?
Thank you, Julia, for changing this challenge with us. And I'm really excited to say that as of today, we're making available what we call the LeanIX Store. And so you might be surprised, but I would like to run a video on that. The store will be available also as of today. It's accessible from all editions in LeanIX. So the access to the store and getting content from it is actually free. So there will be free content in it, but there will be in the future potentially also paid content. You can exit it through the URL store.leanix.net, leanix.net, yeah, so also here. And I'm also excited to say for this feature, yes, actually, exactly yesterday evening, I got a message on our internal messenger when the team was still working on it and improving the speed. That was at like 11:30 yesterday evening. So they decided to come up with a new improvement. It got ready yesterday. We have launched it today, but we also will not stop working on it. We will add further topics into the store. So while we're starting now with reports and visualizations, we will add surveys which people have designed, so you can put them and upload them into the store, and then you can download them as an example for yourself. So it could be on GDPR or any other topic you like, in order to share it with the community. Also, what we would add is data model extensions in the future, so that they can be distributed via the store. So this is all going on no later than next quarter, so that we extend the store and also learn from your feedback what you would like to have. What is an extreme commitment for us is that we have launch partners for the store. We have a very valued customer, Aldi South. Julia has talked about it before. They have decided and agreed to be one of our launch partners, and put in also first reports into the store. And then there are also partners, Deloitte, Incovia, Itarecon, and Intelligence, who have developed first reports, uploaded them. So you could go also to one of the booths today and see which reports we already have in the store. Try this out. It's just like in the video. It's one click away. You go into the report, you log into your workspace, and then you, with one click, you get this report as an administrator in your workspace. It's extremely easy. There are always 3 topics to launch. The third launch topic is also very special for us. There's a company which is very well known in collaboration tools in the world, and I'm more than happy that they allowed us to share a site for it, a citation for it. It's Atlassian. Atlassian is saying, as they are using LeanIX in their IT, they reduce the complexity which they normally find in EA tools. So we are really, really excited today to launch a very tight integration with one of their products. That product is all around collaboration, sharing insights, and expanding the content which we have in LeanIX even to broader people in the company. And a big thank you for Atlassian to supporting this launch. And again, I would like to share more insights into what we launch in a video. So again, a quick overview how it is available. So Also here, I'm excited to say it's available for all editions of LeanIX. It will be included. There's no additional pricing for it. For all of you who know Atlassian Confluence, it's available in 2 different editions. There is an on-premise version and a cloud version. So what we do, we support first the on-premise version directly from their store in early December, and we shortly after that will add the version for their cloud product. So it's actually 2 different products. You will be able then to exit it via the Atlassian marketplace. Also, for this product feature, we're not stopping. We are adding additional macros, that's how it's called in Confluence, for individual fact sheets. So you can reference those fact sheets directly while typing in Confluence. As said before, we're supporting Confluence Cloud soon. And what we do is, and this is a very nice feature, we will allow that you see within LeanIX which different pages actually back-referenced this fact sheet. So it allows you to navigate back and forth between Confluence and see which other pages have actually referenced this fact sheets. And we will add rich links. Some people know that from Jira, so where you can immediately see and preview information. That will also be a topic we will add in the future. So all those 3 features are really, this is what makes me excited about product launches. Our engineering teams have worked super hard until last minute to put everything together. So as said before, you can see them all live in the booth. Also the Confluence integration, if you like to see it, and it will be available soon. There are a number of smaller topics. So product launch is around 3 big topics, but then a number of smaller topics which are listed here. I would just briefly go through them. Some of you have already seen them. We have added a much better fact sheet creation dialog. So when you create a new item in LeanIX, now we're showing items with similar names, so you can reduce the chance or the risk of duplicate entries. So that makes life easier there and quality better. We are also allowing, together with the Confluence integration, to embed any report. So maybe I've not said it before, but the reports which you put into your Confluence page are fully interactive. So they are live reports. You can click on them, you can resize them, like we've seen it in the video. The same is actually possible when you would like to embed it, for example, in SharePoint. Although we don't launch an out-of-the-box integration with SharePoint at this point, you can use with a one click in LeanIX and export a small code snippet, which you can then embed in pretty much every website. There's another small point we are adding. It's rapid picture export, also in the reporting, so that you can drag and drop the image version directly, for example, in PowerPoint. You don't need to download the report as a picture first and then add it into PowerPoint. So that's available. And also, we're giving something for free, which is what we call the PVO integration. It's a special purpose integration to capture information directly from source code repositories. We've announced it earlier on. We've shown it also as a first version some time back. And we've now decided to launch it to everyone. While it might have been priced before, again here, probably salespeople might not like me here, but we're going to give it away for free. The same one is with an intercom integration. What we do is every customer can configure actually their intercom details. It's a real-time chat, and you can use your own real-time chat within LeanIX, for example, to support your users using intercom. So that's potentially something you might have a look at. There's one point we've added, which is important for people who are using ServiceNow. As of today, our ServiceNow integration, which is certified in the store, is also available for the London release, which has recently come out. And we're already working on making our ServiceNow integration compatible with the next ServiceNow release, which is called Madrid, and will be released next year. So these are the product launches we show today. But there's one important point left. So this is where are we actually heading, so our roadmap part. So to give you a little bit of an overview of what's actually our 3-year journey with the product. So I go 1 year back, look at this year, and then look at next year. In the last year, we've been pretty busy with rolling out what we call the LeanIX 4.0 Pathfinder. We've completely rebuilt the platform from scratch, which we've actually built over years. We took it all away and rethought everything. So there are a number of topics which we actually improved, like a faster user interface thanks to a single-page app. We added a table view in the inventory. We added a fully flexible data model which can be extended using our configuration add-ons. We allow developers to create own reports. There's a special session also today. And then also we completely changed our architecture from a more monolithic architecture to a microservice architecture. So that kept us pretty busy last year. I've mentioned the launch we had with some of our big customers, and we had to go through. So that 2018 was all around product excellence. We've put a lot of effort in making features better, such as the visualizer, also the search in some areas. So feature coverage, robustness, and automation were some of the big topics we addressed actually this year. In 2019, we see the big opportunity now to leverage the platform we've built and to go beyond just the product excellence. You see it here on our priorities. Product excellence stays an important priority for us, but it's just 1 out of 4. We would like to look more into EA-driven use cases. We have a second topic which we call modern IT, and we have a third topic which we call enabling partners. And the following chart gives an overview as kind of a long list of topics we've written down as our roadmap for 2019. And you see that in the EA-driven use cases as the Confluence integration. We are working and thinking about more configurable business processes. Data model extensions are a big topic we're thinking about. So this is actually the first topic. The second topic, modern IT, will be all around thinking of how to leverage the existing data sources. It's not only ServiceNow, it can be Jira, but also, very importantly, public cloud adapters to AWS and Azure, which a lot of companies are actually adopting, as we saw this morning in the keynote of Peter. And then, as we launch today the store, it's also around enabling our partners. So what we will do, we will extend the store, we will add self-service configuration for our partners of our configurable data model, and then also we will allow to have more and more extensions being deployable from the store directly into the workspaces. The last point, which we keep on our priority list, is the EA product excellence. There's a number of topics in there, but what I would like to do is I would give some highlight on what are the topics we actually commit for Q1 next year. And you see them here highlighted in yellow. So what we will work on and commit to is the Confluence integration, making that available for cloud and on-premise. We're extending the ServiceNow integration. We got a lot of feedback on it, people adopting it, liking it. They would like to have more filtering capabilities and allow to match tags between the different platforms. So that's a big topic we're adding. We are going to extend the store with more functionality and also more artifacts we can derive from the store. And then we have a couple of topics around the product excellence area, which I would like to highlight in more detail. The first one, which we would like to announce, and we've discussed with customers before, is that we're going to migrate our data center to Azure. We've started that exercise some time back. We're moving all of our self-built orchestration logic, which we do on Docker as a virtualization platform. We're moving that to Kubernetes, which was invented by Google, and then essentially then hosting it onto the Azure platform. And here are the reasons why we're actually doing it. First reason is we're improving the guaranteed availability. Today, in terms of legal and contractual standpoint, we can only guarantee 99%. That's not enough for the use cases you would want to do. So we need to move it up to at least 99.5, which we can legally guarantee. Just to be sure, that's not the availability we actually have. So we have a much higher availability which is measured, but for us it's important that you can also rely on it also from a contractual standpoint. Then also what we'd like to do is we would like to ensure data center compliance, and Azure is one of the providers which has a very, very broad coverage like ISO certification, SOC, and many more. So it's probably the public cloud provider with the most certifications out there. We're going to add another data center location. We're going to have US, Europe like today, but we're going to add as a first data center in the beginning of next year a location in Asia Pacific to serve customers there. The fourth point is we want to handle the load increase. So we're seeing customers adding more fact sheets, more workspaces, more logins, more API. So we want to be prepared for that growth. And that's why we are moving this over into a more dynamic infrastructure. And last but not least, we're going to work a lot on adapters in the next year towards a public cloud infrastructure. So that's why it's always important for us, if we want to deal with that topic together with our customers, we need to understand it very thoroughly. So that's why we also make sure that we use those products on our own in our own infrastructure. How is this all going on? So there are two steps taking place in the next year. So what's going to happen in Q1 next year is that we start updating the data processing agreements and SLAs. So what we will do is we will approach every customer on that with a proposal for that to also see a list of data providers which we're working with. So that will happen as a preparation phase in Q1. And then in Q2 next year, we then actually plan for the migration. So what we will do is we will announce an individual downtime at least 4 weeks in advance. And as of today, we're calculating with a maximum downtime of 48 hours, which actually depends on the volume. So that's something we would then need to agree and find out with you how to place that downtime. There will be no action needed by the customer, so ideally you don't need to do anything except of having a certain downtime window, which we need to then upgrade your workspace and move it into the new infrastructure. So that's the first point around Azure. I'm excited to also announce 2 further things in our short-term roadmap for Q1. One of the things we're hearing very consistently is that we can do much better in our quick search. So we have the UX lab today searching in the inventory as a big topic. But what we do here is, as a first step, very near term, in our quick search, which is in the menu bar, we start to group results by the type. So if you search for an application, you get all the results grouped by that. So the feedback was before that people were not finding the right content because applications, providers, interfaces, and all of that was very mixed. Yeah? So we're taking that and grouping that to make it easier. The second piece which we're doing is we're adding a better algorithm for that so that we find the items much quicker and then rank it better in the future. So that's something which we commit for in Q1, which we see a lot of demand for in our customer base. The third point which I would like to share is we are going to add views, color-based views into the visualizer. You all know those color-based views from our reports. They help a lot to provide context, to understand are those applications still in their life cycle, or like in this diagram here, you see 2 applications in red which are out of their life cycle, they are end of life, and you have this one application which is actually in phase out. So you will be able to add those views dynamically to the visualizer. Also what we do, you see it on the right-hand side in this preview, we're going to clean up a lot the sidebar. It will be much faster, much easier to find information. We're also integrating the preview page there to make it easier. And so it will be very easy to switch between different views in the visualizer diagrams. Yeah? So going from the lifecycle view more to another heat map view, you will be able to use your tags for those highlightings. So this is all what we're going to commit for in Q1 next year. To sum it up, I would like to take I would like you to take away actually 3 things from this session this morning. What we will focus on next year. So there will be a strong focus for us as a company on the Europe and the US market with our 2 offices. What we will do is we will invest, or we will continue investing heavily into our product. And also what we will do is with processes, especially in customer success, to strengthen our customer intimacy. We will again do an EA Connect Day. We will probably do more customer sessions, which we're starting here today with the product one-on-ones. So we are looking, we are really excited for the upcoming year, and we really excited to work with all of you together. And last but not least, I wish you a great conference during the next days, and thank you for your attention.